Yo, what's going on? Wuthering Waves is finally here, and I just finished a 19-hour play session over at twitch.tv/kingplop. So I figured I would just drop my first impressions here. This is coming from someone who's absolutely sick of Genshin. I've been playing Genshin for about 4 years, and TOF for a few months. Didn't really click with me, but that's where my perspective on Wuthering Waves will be coming from. So to start off, the game is gorgeous. And I'm not just talking about the environment, I'm talking about character designs, enemy designs, and just the general art direction as a whole is top tier. There's already been plenty of moments where I just had to stop and take in the scenery. Every zone has a unique theme to it, so it never feels samey when you're walking around exploring. And the puzzles and exploration mechanics aren't very tedious or annoying, and some of them are actually straight up fun. Like they have a dragonfly race where you fly through rings at crackhead speed, which feels off at first, but you have complete control over your speed, so going back and redoing it just makes you better and better, since if you miss a ring, it's just on you. It's not like Genshin where they literally just put you on rails and finish the race for you. It's actually engaging. That's just one of the many world events I've run into. I'm only level 20 and I still have a bunch of the map to unlock, so I can only imagine what I haven't seen yet. Now for the big one, the story is absolute ass. At the start, at times it felt like I was playing an early draft with how the dialogue and world building was being pumped out. Like they were just checking boxes. A bunch of the voice work for these cutscenes is also crazy flat, and just the audio quality for speaking lines is terrible. There's lots of hissing, pausing, and breaths between words. It's just a very off-putting experience to have at the start of the game. The good news is it does pick up around Act 4, which for me was really fucking peak. You get introduced to the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life. Crossing my fingers for a marriage system, but yeah, if it becomes too much for you, unlike Genshin, there is a skip button. So if the early chapters don't click with you, don't feel bad about skipping. I'm sure they'll come back and re-record or rewrite them in the future. On to the characters. So for me, I've been playing gacha games for about 8 or 9 years. The gacha is almost 1-to-1 to Genshin, but unlike Genshin, you get 2 free 5 stars just for playing. I was able to get both around the 10 to 14 hour mark. The novice banner is a discounted pity of standard pulls. You just roll until you hit it at 8 pulls for a 10 pull, until the guarantee. Then like Honkai Star Rail, the superior Hoyo game, the good one, you get to choose your own standard 5-star character. But instead of 300 pulls, you only have to do 80, which is great. I got lucky and I got mine at about 40 or 50 pulls, so it doesn't take much time at all to get 2 5 stars as soon as you start playing. There's also allegedly another 5-star selector on the way as an apology for bug fixes at launch. So for me, I don't care about male characters whatsoever, unless they're just crazy cool or mad broken. So I can only speak on the females, and for a new game, they all look great. They have unique animations and personalities. Back to the voice thing, a few of them are miscasted or just underperforming as a whole. I don't usually play in English, but for this game, I've been giving it a chance. And woo! It's something. It's like backroom Walmart levels of bad. Some of the characters like Taoki or Yang Yang are really rough at the start. I'm a big Yang Yang lover though, so it has grown on me. But some of the character performances in English just aren't worth talking about. I would recommend giving it a shot if you play in English. But if you don't mind, JP as always is good. Just use JP. No slack to the voice actors. It is what it is. But gameplay wise, everyone is unique enough that I'm always excited to see what they can do. One issue is the game is very parry focused, like a baby version of Sekiro. It is satisfying to use, but everyone has a parry, so it gets somewhat repetitive in the longer you play. You have basic roles. You have the basic roles of every RPG. You have DPS, you have tanks, you have supports, you have specialists. There's characters that give shields and heal at the same time, which is nuts. There's a 5-star named Genshin that I had no interest whatsoever. Like I did not care about her going into the game. But the more I used her, the more I fell in love. She's like a fun venti for my Genshin bros. I also love monk characters since I used to play Final Fantasy XIV, so she really scratches that itch for me. And again, back to the story, she was presented really well. Like there's a short quest with her and I just loved it from start to finish. Definitely look out for that. It changed my whole opinion of her. A bigger thing with the gameplay that I'm really loving is that instead of farming a room for gear like Genshin, you get gear from the entire open world. Just from killing enemies. There's a chance for them to turn into gear. You can also use the enemies as summons. They have different abilities and it just makes exploring all the more engaging and rewarding. Because you don't know what you'll get. You don't know what you're gonna see. Even some of the bigger bosses can become summons and gear for you, which is insane. To close, I've seen a bunch of people having issues of all kinds with the game. For me, it still hasn't crashed a single time. I haven't experienced a single bug or soft lock in the whole 19 hours of playing. The only issue I had was minor stuttering, which if you play any other Unreal Engine games, it isn't that alarming. Majority of the time it's just shaders compiling, as far as I know. So it wasn't that game breaking for me. I cannot speak on any of the issues I haven't had, but as a whole, this launch has been really smooth. I was personally worried there would be a queue to log in or crazy server issues, since this is Kuro's first open world live service game. But that whole experience is fine. They have also acknowledged everyone's concerns for the people that did have issues, so I'm sure in a month or so the game will be running even better. There were 2 patches yesterday that really cut back the stuttering, so I would say the game's on a great track. It's just up to the devs to get the voice acting and narrative up to par. Consistency is everything with a game like this. I'll probably make another video once I've reached max level, I finish the story. But yeah, that's all. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. I do stream over at twitch.tv/kingplop. I'll be playing every day for the rest of the month. Feel free to come and say hi. See you around.